You're listening to Impolite Society with Laura and Rachel.
We put ourselves, well, I put myself. I don't know if Laura was ever quite on the same commitment level that I was in, but I put myself in booze jail after listening and editing the BDSM episode. I was like, oh, girl, you can't drink so much when you're recording. So I was putting myself in booze jail. I threw away the key. But then...
And then you dug it back out of the trash.
I stopped at the Whole Foods because I'm bougie. I stopped at the Whole Foods and I was looking at some stuff on my way home and I see these beautiful little canned cocktails and I go, oh, you know what would be great on my walk home? A canned cocktail.
Why not?
And I see them and I couldn't choose. They had two flavors. They had a gin boogie and a Moscow Mule. How can I choose? So I buy 2 cases. That's 4 canned cocktails and I'm walking home. All I have is a backpack. I'm like rearranging stuff, taking things out, throwing out the boxes the canned cocktails came in and like stuffing them in every single pocket possible. I'm walking out with a 20-pound backpack, just full jam pack. Because my backpack, it had 8 of these and each can 7% alcohol. That means my backpack was 56% alcohol at that point. You take a shot of it and you die.
Well, I'm not in booze jail. I never put myself in booze jail. But I did run out of good booze at the house. So I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here. I'm trying to drink cake vodka and like super herby gin. And it is terrible. I took the cake vodka with a coconut LaCroix. And I was like, it's going to be like coconut cake. No, it tastes like trash. So every time I take a drink, I'm like...
And yet, here we are. Why don't you just record sober, one might ask, rightfully so. And the answer is we can't help it. We're drawn to it. Like moths to the flame. We must have a cool glass in our hands as we record. And what are we recording?
I was going to say, we have not even talked about what a podcast this is.
Yeah, let's jump right into it. What podcast is this?
This is Impolite Society. We are the podcast where we tackle the taboo one rude question at a time. I'm Laura.
And I'm Rachel. And our topic today is another thing that us humans, weak, immoral, puny humans are drawn to, much like Laura and I are to the gin boogie. It's something we just can't fucking get enough of. And it's a topic so titillating.
Tits.
What?
Is it tits?
No, it's right there in the title. It's swearing, but it's so titillating. It's so offensive that people have tried to make these words against the law in some spaces, and they can surely get you kicked out of public or ostracized by friends and family.
I read my research somewhere that the word pregnant wasn't used on television until like 1960 something.
Oh, that's only a decade into television, to be fair. It wasn't like the first content ever created was, hey, pregnant.
Okay.
There's a lot of humanity to explore, like how you get pregnant, which was, in fact, some of the first moving film. You got to think, oh, let's make some film move, and you know what we're going to do? What do we need to see move? Some bouncing dongs. Dong is not a swear word. There's many other words we can use that are a lot more crude, but we love to swear. And just like pregnant went from being not acceptable to say on the air to something we can say freely, pregnant.
Preggers.
Knocked up. We can say all those words. Society's changing, and in fact, people are continuing to swear more and more. According to a study, the use of each major swear has increased a lot since 1986 when they first looked at the data.
Oh, I believe that.
This leads me to my rude question for the day. Why is swearing so goddamn satisfying?
Why is swearing so motherfucking satisfying? That's what I want to know. That's what Laura wants to know.
It feels so fucking good to just let it off as you open a gin boozy boogie, and you just, at the end of the day, you just open it. Even the can sounds like it's swearing.
Shit.
It's great. It rolls off the tongue.
I love to swear. Absolutely fucking love it.
I do too, and it's always gotten me in trouble. My mom has always said that my sister and I swear too much. But hey, it's just a sign of the times, baby cakes. We're all potty mouths these days.
When we first started this podcast, my grandmother was still alive, God bless her soul, but she was living with my uncle, and my uncle is, he's a tech guy, and he's like, let's listen to Laura's podcast.
Oh no, that's never a good idea. Grandparents, not for your ears.
That is all I heard was, why do you swear so much on the podcast? It really upset your grandmother. Why are you? And I'm like, I'm sorry, not sorry. I don't know.
Oh, grandmas.
Mimi.
They're too precious for our podcast.
It's true.
The only people this podcast for is fucking degenerates. You know
just
who you
like
are.
us. Just like us.
Exactly. So we've been giving lots of examples of what swears or curses or cussing is, but there are actually two distinct kinds of these words, these profanity. As one would, the boogie is fighting. It's really boogieing in there. As one would say, there's a curse and a swear. A curse involves punishing, like I'm gonna fuck you up. That's a curse.
Okay.
Or be damned. You're damn you. Damn. It's
damn.
a curse. Like,
got it.
Something bad is going to happen to you. But on the flip side of that is just, some light blasphemy. That's some fun blasphemy. That's where you say, like, goddamn, or you take something that's sacred. This kind of fits into the other kind of way that we can categorize these swear words, right? So it's either punishing someone or pulling in the sacred. And you can also break them into two categories: deistic, which is related to religion. So this is words that are related to religion that we're taking and we're using in an inappropriate way. And then the second one is visceral, which just means it's relating to all the beauties and the fun that our human body is capable of creating or having.
I always think it's interesting, goddamn, or, exclamations like Jesus Christ, all that kind of stuff. It's the easiest commandment to follow. Don't use God's name in vain. Like, it's such an easy one, but it's the one I fail at the most often.
Yeah, that and not coveting the neighbor's wife, man. Those are my two pitfalls. I'm out there ogling all the ladies as they walk by. Awooga. Okay. So no matter how you can categorize them, whether they're of this plane or the heavenly one, they originate from one common place.
A taboo?
What? It's almost like that's what we talk about on the show. Yes. So all swear words are deeply tied to a taboo. That's why we're not out here going kittens when something bad happens.
But maybe we should.
I did see that when people use those ways of replacing it, it's activating all the same stuff that we'll talk about later. So when you say fiddlesticks, you might as well just say fuck.
Except for it will make your grandma give you a phone call and say, I didn't like when you said fiddlesticks.
Well, fiddlestick yourself, Grandma.
Hello, Impolite Society. It's Laura, and I'm here to tell you about another indie podcast you should be listening to, and that is 2 for 1 Special. 2 for 1 Special is a podcast where two brothers go outside of the box when it comes to talking about video games and anime. Not only will they have you thinking, but you can enjoy some funny moments and some slow ones. 2 for 1 Special is an easy listening podcast, so if you have an interest in console or computer games and anime, go ahead and give them a listen. Let them know that we sent you. Link will be in the episode description. Now back to the episode.
So yes, they come from taboos, and what do we do with taboos here, Laura?
We look those bitches square in the face.
Yeah, we said we do not give a shit, you motherfucker. We gonna look you in the face. We gonna talk about, I don't care how unpleasant it is. I don't care how bad you smell.
We're doing like the head wobble as we do it. You can't see us, but that's what we're doing.
Of course, I think they could hear it. Rattle, 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 rattle.
Brain sloshing around in there, all that booze.
That's what we do. We look the taboos square in the mug. I tried that of a swear word for face, but apparently it's not a taboo. So to do that, well, in case you are very chaste and very pure and you don't know any swears, I thought I would do you the kindest service in the world and teach you a few of the best.
I'm here for it.
So what do I and a bored 4th grader who's stuck inside on a rainy day for indoor recess with the dictionary have in common? We are looking up all the cuss words in the dictionary, and we are finding out what they mean. So here we go. This came from, and I mean, I have a lot of favorites. We've probably said our favorite one the most here. It would fuck. But I went to what will truly be the hieroglyphics of our time, you know, the pieces of our written culture that will last for millennia after our society is gone.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
And that is
Don't say it.
Twitter.
Ah!
A study by The Guardian, they looked at like 50 million words, and of those 50 million, these were the top 3 swears. So I'm going to tell you what they are and where they come from, and I'm going to help you use them, right? First, you know, by also demonstrating. A lot of demonstrating. Let's just say that. So the first one, the granddaddy of all these dirty words,
The F word.
fuck.
Fuck.
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes.
On the motherfucking plane.
Oh my gosh, it's great.
I almost said that today. I was just like so fed up with the world that I was like, I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Because sometimes only a fuck will do. We don't have a lot of fucks to give, but sometimes you gotta spend them when it's the most necessary.
I feel like I don't have a lot of care fucks to give, but man, do I have a lot of verbal fucks to give. I could give fucks verbally all fucking day.
Hell yeah. And if you're giving a fuck, what are you giving? Well, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, fuck is defined as copulation.
Ooh.
I mean, it means sex.
Is it really in the dictionary?
Yeah, of course it's in the dictionary.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I just never thought of this. Yeah. I never looked up swear words in the dictionary.
They didn't believe in indoor recess, I guess, when you were in grade school, because we did it all. We looked it all up. Okay, so that's what the official definition is, but fuck has so many more meanings. It's a swear word that can literally be anything we want it to be. A verb, a noun, an adjective, an adverb. And so eloquently put together into a sentence where we use every one of those uses of fuck. A demonstration from your co-host, Laura.
You fucking fucked my fucking girlfriend, you fuck! There you have it.
There you have it. That is an example of fuck being used in every single way. You're welcome. So, its origins. It is not an acronym. There's like this cute little wives' tale folklore that it comes from fornicating under consent of the king or fornicating under command of the king. That's just made up. I don't know. Apparently there's more words in our language today that actually came from acronyms. That seems ridiculous. It just seems ridiculous to me that words came from acronyms. But anyways, it actually has Germanic origin. So not get British Islands, screw you, whatever. You Anglo-Saxons, get out of here.
This is kings. I can fornicate under not consent of the king.
I can fornicate under the king, over the king, around the king. It's Middle Ages. Everybody's dirty as fuck. But it comes from a Germanic word, and the origin simply meant to hit, to strike, or the most kind of dead giveaway of how it became applied to sex is to move back and forth.
To thrust.
To thrust. And really, is it a surprise how something that means to hit became a euphemism for for having sex? See, I did it right there. Because think of the language we use today to describe sex. We banged. We smashed. I screwed her. They're all very violent, and they're all very much about, like, colliding.
I've never heard smashed. I smashed her.
We smashed. You never heard that? Oh,
no.
Well,
does that mean you did the monster mash? I did the monster mash.
We did the ugly smash.
It was a graveyard blast.
Yeah, that's if you're into that necrophilia. It was a graveyard blast. Woof. That's I try not to do my blasting in the graveyards, but sometimes Sometimes. So it's essentially meant sex since as far back as the 1500s, which is the 14th century. Again, I'm not a historian.
You're correct.
It's meant sex for a long time, and I think the first use for it was actually by a monk who was bitching about his boss in a scribe. He was like, my abbot, what a fucker. And he's like talking about his abbot having all this sex. Best kind of fun fact about fuck, a fucking fun fact about fuck, is that it actually has appeared in people's names. Oh my God, bless these ancient souls. Names like John Le Fucker and my personal favorite, Roger Fuck by the Navel.
Fuck by the navel. What? And also, what happened to these names? I imagine, I guess, at some point they got changed, right? Like, or did they just... No women married them, so they didn't have any.
Well, not if he's trying to fuck by the navel. His genes were not getting passed on. Let's just say that. But back then, names kind of came from what you did, or they were kind of nicknames. So, fucker, John the Fucker could be that he liked to hit things a lot. He got into a lot of fights. And Roger Fuck
by the navel.
It could mean he punched in the stomach, or, he was very clueless in the ways of the female body.
He's like, it's a hole. I don't know. Is this where it goes?
There's a lot of layers. There's a lot of layers. He probably never seen the general shape of a woman before, so cut Roger some slack.
He's doing the best he can. Roger Fuck by the navel.
He's like, oh, I heard it was a tiny little hole, but let's see. So yeah, that's, according to Twitter, the number one swear word. It accounted for 30% of all swears on Twitter.
It doesn't surprise me.
I know. It's a good one. It's an oldie, but a goodie. So, what is the second most commonly used swear word on Twitter?
Shit!
That's right. It's the stuff that comes out from down low. It is shit. Everybody knows it. You can smell some bullshit from a mile away. We all can. And it is the second most popular curse word used on Twitter. And it accounts for about 15% of all swears on Twitter. And it means poo. I mean, it's exactly what we think it is. And it has pretty much always meant poo. To that extent, it has actually showed up in a few different languages throughout the years. But it has ready, here comes, well, actually, the word shit comes from Proto-Indo-European root. There, I just felt like I had to say it in that voice for Proto-Indo-European root.
I don't even know what that means.
Something about Europe and Indonesia, who knows? But it comes from a word, ske. Skeet, sheet. I looked it up.
Skeet, motherfucker is what it comes from.
Skeet, goddamn is right. It's spelled S-K-E-I.
Sky?
It's not pronounced that way. Ski, she, something like that. Because it's the origin of the word shit. So it kind of has the sh sound to it. It's also a word in Norwegian today. So if anybody who is, we got friends in the Netherlands. So please correct my pronunciation because I'm a dumb American. I don't know ski. I don't know ski.
I don't know how to ski either. I've never been.
I know. What am I doing with my life? Anyways, but the word it comes from literally means to cut or split, as in you're like cutting it from your body.
That is very brings to mind like just such a clear picture. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Boop. And my dog, when she shits, she like pushes her tail down to chop it off, like she's literally like cutting it into segments. That's my girl Friday.
My cat shits in like little curly cues. It's disgusting.
That's good. That means he's got a healthy colon. You ever poo out an S, one of those F's, bendy poos, and you're like, damn straight. It's not straight, but it's curly.
The superior poo is the poo that comes out easy and you don't really have to wipe. You know, like you go to wipe and you're like, oh.
The elusive ghost wipe. But just like a ghost wipe, a ghost ship was also associated with the word shit because apparently shit also has a cute little story about coming from an acronym. Like, who has time to do this?
Ship hitherto in transit.
Ship, that's very close. That's very close because the story says that it stands for ship high in transit because somebody was shipping manure across the Atlantic and they had it all in the hull of the boat, and then the methane exploded with fire that exploded the boat, as the story goes.
And then this is nonsense, right?
Yeah, no, that's 100% fake. Fake. That is some bullshit. Shit itself is also used in many different ways, too, as a saying, like, it's poo, it's baloney, you're full of shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's. I feel like it's a little bit more than that. And it's more than just a noun. I feel like occasionally, I mean, you can use it as obviously a verb, like shitting.
You're shitting me.
Yeah, shitting. And then I feel like, I guess maybe sometimes an adjective. It's like, that's the shit.
This is shit.
Or, yeah, this is shit. Or,
this is shit. My luck is shit.
Yeah, my luck is shit. There you go. It's like an adjective.
Yeah, another very good, very versatile word that just rolls off the tongue.
Not
doesn't roll off the tongue.
quite as versatile as fuck.
That's some fucking shit right there.
Yeah.
And it just feels good to say.
It does.
So then, the final word on Twitter, that was the most common swear, coming in number 3, also at 15%, neck and neck with shit, is ass. Oh, the ass. And oh my God, this is one of my favorite words because I just love ass, man. Just give me some ass.
I never use this word, really, honestly. Unless I'm calling someone an asshole. That's generally the only time that I use it.
That sums up the definition. So in its most pure sense, the number one definition in the Merriam-Webster dictionary is it's a donkey. It's essentially some kind of ungulate creature with big ears and short mane, and it goes in Africa, and it clomps around. The second definition they had was a rude person. It wasn't until the second part of the definition. I'm not an etymologist. I don't know how dictionaries work. It was in a whole separate definition that it even said bottom.
Oh.
That, donkey. That's the joke that every 10-year-old knows. Oh, that's an ass. Ha, ha, ha. We all know what that really means. The word ass is all about that bass. That wagon you're dragging.
Junk in the trunk.
Yes. Ah, ass. It's what's for dinner.
Ha
I've been waiting to use that joke all day. So the word itself comes from Latin, right, for a donkey. And it makes sense that a stubborn, mean-spirited animal would inspire us to compare some people with the same virtues to that animal. So when we say you're being an ass, you're being a jackass, it's, you're acting like an ass. But what about the behinds?
It's a good question.
Well, according to the etymology sites that I found, which were very reputable and had very reputable names and domains, and actually, the way that we say ass, or ass meaning butts today, is credited to our always intelligent-sounding neighbors to the northeast. That's right. I'm talking about those chowder heads who like to park the car in the yard.
The Bostonians.
Some of the first white folks to land in our great continent and bring over their love of the Patriots and beer.
Sam Adams.
All that good stuff. But
got that smart pot.
All the things that they love, ours aren't one of them. So they dropped the R from arse to ass, and that's how we have the common pronunciation of ass today.
Interesting, because I always heard arse is like a British way of saying it, but so that was how the British said ass. Arse.
Yeah, because an ass.
That's how the British said it.
ASS meant a donkey. Arse meant your bottom. So you bring the bottom over, and then you drop the R, and it becomes ass, and then all of a sudden you have butt, donkey, jerk. But there's
interesting.
Nothing's ever that clear cut, especially stuff that goes back as far as language does. Some people say that the R kind of got dropped off in common vernacular to kind of aid in some of the rhymes that some medieval poets were doing. And, in fact, in Shakespeare's A Midsummer's Night Dream, a character named Nick Bottom gets turned into a donkey.
I love Midsummer's Night Dream. It's one of my favorite Shakespeare
productions. It is pretty good. But a character named Nick Bottom who gets turned into an ass,
Which means it definitely predates American and the Bostonians.
That seems to me too good to be ignored. That's some iambic pentameter for you. You didn't think that I was gonna slap you in the face with some iambic pentameter tonight.
I don't even know. Like, I know what it is. I know that Shakespeare writes in it. If you would ask me to define it, I'd be like,
It's 10 syllables with the emphasis placed on the second syllable. So, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? That's the kind of... that's what iambic pentameter is. So those are the top 3. Those were the top 3 other... No, just kidding. I'm going to stop trying to do... We're going to do the whole podcast in iambic pentameter.
I'm just going to talk like this the whole time. Is that my iambic pentameter?
I am going to talk like this all night. That's iambic pentameter. God damn, Shakespeare. Watch out. I'm coming for you. But those are the top 3 other contenders where Bitch came in number 4, which Bitch is going to get its own whole show because I love the journey that it's on.
I use that word all the time.
I'm a bitch. I'm a lover. It's so good. And I'm going to go on a whole patriarchal corner about it.
Anti-patriarchal.
Yes. No, it's just going to be... Bitch, the story of why women are the worst. It's my patriarchal podcast with Rachel and some other bitch.
No, just with 2 bitches. We don't even get names. Just with 2 bitches.
Yeah, the patriarchal podcast with 2 bitches. And we just sit there and shut up and know our place the whole time.
We don't talk. We just sit there.
Yes. Okay, so other top words are hell, whore, dick, piss, pussy, and damn. So those are the top ones. I educated you a little bit on some swear words and where they came from and where do they go, where do they come from.
Cotton Eye Joe.
I have to have it in there every chance I get. But where does it really come from, right? This urge to swear. Fun fact that I learned, swearing does not come from the same part of the brain as speech. Speech likes to hang out in our left hemisphere. But swearing actually is way back deeper than that. And that is when you unfold the layers, you're doing your little lobotomy, you're getting in there and you're digging around in the brain. Swearing is all the way in the back, in the lower region, in the deep brain.
Corpus callosum, is that where it is?
I don't know. I didn't see that word in my studies.
Okay.
My fucking studies.
I'm just thinking. I'm like, what back in the deep brain? That's
that's probably where it was. It's really close to the brain stem. It is what we would call, aka the lizard brain. So it's deep, it's intrinsic. It's back there hanging out with its neighbor's emotion and instinct. Yes. So when we stub our toe and we swear, the old fucking buzzkill left brain's not thinking like, oh, what words can I use to describe the agony that my little toe is in? No, it's skipping that. It says, stay out of it, Poindexter. Here comes these words from the deep, dark caverns of my life existence, and it's going to let out my frustration. It's not necessarily that swear words are even words in our brains, but they're actually whole units. Like, we're not processing them phonetically. We're just spewing them out as one thing.
That's fascinating to me. That you could, I guess, even teach something, that's so deep back there. That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's always because it's tied into taboos. So something about just speaking out something we're not supposed to is so powerful, and it changes our physicality in addition to our emotional release, right? Because swearing is kind of a combination of a motor activity, because it's not something we're processing through the speech part of our brains, and an emotional release. So it's giving us an ability to, it's kind of a therapeutic way of releasing emotion.
I absolutely buy that.
Oh, 100%. Whenever you get hurt, you swear. You say, fucking goddamn it. You get angry, and it kind of helps alleviate that pressure. It, lets the steam out of your tea kettle. Mm-hmm. And researchers theorize that cursing takes over for crying. Because when we're a baby and we're frustrating and we're angry or we're sad or we're tired, we cry. And then somebody comes in and fixes it for us. But as we grow older, we're told you can't sit in your, work life and cry in a meeting, because you're frustrated that somebody won't get you the deliverable on time, on schedule. And you're going to say, we're going to have to fucking retrospect this, Dave. We're going to have to retrospect this in detail of why you can't get the deliverable to me at the end of the sprint. But I digress. Was that too real?
Yeah. Been there.
But you can't cry in that situation. So what's a more socially acceptable thing to do? Swear.
I still cry sometimes when I get frustrated.
But not in the meeting.
No.
But you can swear. If something bad happened in public, you wouldn't sit down and cry, but you might let out a few F-bombs here and there.
Yeah, I think that's fascinating. I definitely believe that because, I mean, we've got so much raw pent-up emotion. It's got to go somewhere. And I guess we just buried it deep, deep inside the back of our brain.
We live in a cage of our own social construct. But that tapping into that part of the brain, there's actually some very serious power there. And swear words, I'm going to go out and say it, they make us a little superhuman. So whenever you need a little fucking boost, why don't you drop some shit's ass bitches dicks out? Because they're actually... No, don't take your dicks out.
Keep those
That's bad
in.
advice. If you feel a boost, like if your baby's trapped under a car and your mother instincts or your mother's strength doesn't come out, just start swearing, because a study from Keele University, do you think it's Keele or Kiel? Keele University found that swearing can actually help increase our ability to withstand pain. So what they did was this guy, Dr. Richard, his first name, no.
Dr. Dick.
What was his name?
Let's just go with Dr. Dick. I like it.
Hold on. I have to find out now because I can't find his fucking first name anywhere. Dr. Stevens. Damn it. So this mystery doctor, Dr. Stevens, no first name. I Googled it. I said, what is Dr. Stevens' first name? And it said R.
Dick.
So we're going to just go under the we're going to go under the understanding or the belief that his name is Richard and that we're going to call him Dick.
Dr. Dick.
Which, funny story, my grandfather is named Richard. And I grew up with this cute little anecdote that they used to tell us. It was totally a joke, but it involves something he said when he introduced himself to my grandmother. And the story goes that he said, "Hi, I'm Rich. Will you marry me?" And my grandma was like, "Yeah, sure," because get it, Rich. But I mean, now that I know that Dick is a nickname for Richard, could have gone a whole different way. I'm
a hot piece of dick. Will you marry me? Sure.
Exactly. And that's why, grandparents, this show is not for you. Turn it off. Go back to bed. Well, okay, so what this study, Dr. Dick Stevens, what he did was he took participants and he made them submerge their hands into ice cold water. And then he had them describe a chair. I don't know why they had to describe the chair. I guess to use language.
Or, keep their minds off of it to just describe what was going on around them.
Yeah, so one half of them could describe the chair just in normal way that a stand-up citizen would do. And then the other half got to explain it like fun people. And they got to swear. And they were just describing the chair in all the swear words they could. So they're like, that's a fucking stupid-ass chair. It's got that fucking brown color that looks like shit. It looks like a little bitch chair. That's how I would personally describe the chair. The people who got to describe it in that way actually were able to hold their hands in the ice water for 50% longer than the folks who had to use boring God's English.
That, again, does not surprise me. Like you said, it's releasing a tea kettle. It's given a little valve for all that place, a little place for all that stuff to go.
Yeah, so it's the same reason that tennis players let out that horrible ugh while they're playing. It's not just to turn us on a little.
They should just start cursing. Just fuck, shit, pussy, goddamn.
When they serve pussy. God damn. A lot more people would watch tennis after that. I'm sure of it.
I would.
Not only is swearing good at helping us reduce pain, so I'm thinking this ice water, if you ever on the Titanic and it goes down, just start swearing up a storm till those lifeboats get there. But Dr. Dick Stevens is at it again. He did a second follow-up study where he used swearing to measure physical strength. After a short little stint on an exercise bike, he split the participants into two groups again, and he had them squeeze like a little dexterity grip thing to see who could apply the most pressure. Again, one half had to be boring and I guess just say random words. The fun, cool kids, they got to swear. They got to say, fuck. And that let them squeeze this isometric, let it squeeze that hand grip even harder. And again, it showed that using that not only tapped into pain reduction, but also gave us a little bit more strength.
A little oomph.
Yeah. I want to see that episode of Superman where he's going around being like, faster than a fucking bullet. And he's just stronger than a
goddamn speeding bullet.
Exactly. He's just using the swear words to power up. And of course they had to use a spinning bike, like an exercise bike. And that just reminded me of every spin class instructor I've ever had where they weren't necessarily tasking me to swear, but I was fucking cussing them out under my breath. They were on to something. I had one, I almost got out of the bike in the middle of the class and left, and I flipped him off on my way out.
Why?
Because he was an asshole. He was a raging asshole son of a bitch. And he was
bet
just
you performed well.
I don't know. I was really demotivated by that, but that's a story for another day. I did not haul my ass out of bed at 5 a.m. to come to the spin class to be told I'm not doing enough. I'm like,
Well,
I'm here, goddammit.
That's your problem.
Well, truly. Never spin before sunrise.
Don't do anything before the sun rises, guys.
Unless it's some of those words we covered earlier.
No, even then, get the fuck off me. The sun hasn't risen yet.
Is it early or is it late? This is up for debate. Whatever way you choose to look at it. Swearing. It makes us stronger. It makes us superhuman. It bypasses the speech part of our brain. It's lodged somewhere way back in there. And regardless of culture, ethnicity, language, we all swear. Everybody swears. It supersedes any kind of human division. Does it even supersede species?
I'm trying to think of the animal that would be most likely to curse. And I'm going to say dolphins.
Oh my God, you know those little fucking deviants are out there just...
I mean, they're always trying to rape things. I mean... Whenever
you go to SeaWorld, they're kissing you on the cheek and they're like, oh yeah, I'd fucking fuck you in the ass, you little bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't trust a dolphin. I don't trust one today. I don't trust one ever. Dolphins, oh my God. And once they're able to translate those blue whales songs, they're just going to be like... Whales. God, marine life, they're deviants. Where's the 6-pack wrapper? I need to start throwing them in the ocean. Gotta catch those fucking deviants.
No. Cut them. I don't want those sea turtles. The sea turtles don't cuss.
A sea turtle would cuss, but more in like a, hey, fuck yeah, man. Like a surfer dude. But no, animals actually do swear. And this was uncovered, not just in dolphins. We know that they're swearing deep down. That's like, don't need a study. I believe that in my heart. But there's something called Project Washu. Washu is a chimp, and it was about teaching sign language to chimps and studying chimp behavior and all that fun stuff because they're essentially just like, basically humans that live in the jungle, and they're just like us, and they were teaching them sign language. And apparently when you're studying a chimp, one of the things you do is you teach them to use the bathroom. You potty train them. I guess you don't want chimp shit everywhere, or you don't want them throwing
you don't want them throwing at you. Yeah.
Yes, but apparently potty training is repressive because when they do that, they're teaching the chimps a taboo because pooing suddenly becomes a taboo, right? Because you can't just drop a deuce anywhere. You have to go in the corner or under the pee pad or into the trainer's mouth or wherever they teach them to go. You have to...
Somehow I doubt it's in the trainer's mouth, but I don't know what kind of kinky shit. Yeah, I don't know what kind of kinky shit Project Washu was up to.
Yeah. So wherever they go, it became taboo. And they had a sign for it.
I think that is the sign for shit. Is like thumbs down.
And they pull on it? I don't know. We'll have to ask a deaf person. But I don't know if they'll listen to our podcast.
Aw, buzzing.
But the sign they taught them was, you roll up your knuckles and you rub it under your chin, or you put it under your chin, and it meant dirty. It meant dirty. Yeah, kind of like
Yeah, that Italian, like, you put your fingers under your chin.
Fuck you. But you just take the knuckles and you put it under the chin, and it meant dirty. And then without teaching the chimps, they began to sign dirty when angry or frustrated, getting to the point where they were smacking, like punching themselves in the chin that you could hear their teeth rattling. They were swearing. The pissed off chimp was like, fuck, 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 fuck. Like, shit, 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 shit. When it was mad. And I mean, nobody taught them that. They learned it because it's the same. Their brain is so close to ours. It's a beautiful mind. It's a beautiful mind. Evolution is wild. But it tapped into the same thing where that by having a taboo, using it or saying it, expressing it, helped them relieve a little bit of that tension.
That's really interesting. I mean, I guess your brain somehow relates like anything kind of negative together and anything kind of positive together. So angry or frustration, that would be wrapped up in that, you know, the negative being poo, you know, shit. So they just jamming themselves in the chin.
Yeah, and there's just something about it that's ingrained in our heads, and that is what makes it feel so good, that it dips into something, you know, maybe even further back than swearing or speech or signing the word shit. You know, when you see an animal making a noise, like something cawing or something screeching, or, you know, an animal making any kind of grunting sound in combat, maybe that's their version of swearing.
Maybe that's what Bug, my cat, is doing to me all the time. It's just, fuck you.
Oh,
you
yeah, I can see
bitch.
my cat walking around going, cunt! 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 Why is my food bowl not full? You cunt! That word wasn't on the list. People don't use that. That's a really racy one.
I'm a fan of it.
But yes, so dipping into it releases kind of the fight or flight aspect, which is what helps us feel better in the moment. And apparently we're not alone in it. So this leads us to the musing sections, where we take what we've learned so far about swearing and we just kind of think about its role and what it means to us as a species. Hey, you. Yeah, you over there listening to this podcast. You're awesome, and that's why we feel that you deserve a shout out in our podcast instead of some corporate sponsor. So first off, we want to give a big shout out to our friend Adam from the Water Cooler Chat podcast for leaving us a really nice review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you. Even though you did put Laura's name first, that's okay. We'll let it slide this time. And our hometown shout out this week goes to Laurel, Maryland. So I did a little googly search of your town, and let me just say, it is picturesque AF. Throw in the fact that it's got some dinosaur fossils and some indigenous people ancient artifacts, I'd say Laurel, Maryland sounds pretty darn cool. If you want me to look up pictures of your hometown, be sure to hit download and tell your friends about us and have them hit download too. That's how we know where you're listening from. Or you can tell me anything you want me to look up pictures of specifically by leaving us a review on Apple Podcast or anywhere else. Just be sure to let us know you left it so we make sure to give you your shout out. As always, download, rate, and review, and you might just hear about you. All right, now back to the podcast. And to start off, I talked about my mother, who always got on to my case and me and my sister's case for being such putty mouths. She always told me that swearing meant you weren't smart. Like, swearing is a sign of stupidity because you weren't able to find better words to say. You had to fall back on those swears. And this is actually a real thing. It surprised me in my research. There's something called the poverty of vocabulary, which just essentially equates swearing to laziness, impulsivity, and then links it to the lower classes and a lower social intellectual status.
I don't buy this. I mean, here's the thing, that I think that that can be true in some cases. I don't think it's that people don't have the words to describe them. It's that, again, you're tapping into that more emotional side in order to express yourself and to be more emphatic about it. I think that probably that swearing can indicate those with the lower socioeconomic status, for sure. You know, they're not following the rules, quote unquote. They could absolutely be delegated to those lower echelons of our social stratas, but I don't think that it means someone is unintelligent, not at all. In fact, I've seen research that says that people who swear more are more honest and more emotionally in tune with themselves. And I buy that because I want to buy that because I like to swear. And that when somebody swears more, they're generally telling the truth. They're tapping into that kind of deeper part of the brain that's not involved in lying, and they're giving it to you straight, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there, where I think that it has less to do with intelligence, but maybe when you're swearing in the wrong circumstance, you're lacking that emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Which you can read into it intelligence when it really could just be you're outside of your element. Or if you are raised in a lower socio-intellectual class and you can't read the situation or the imaginary rules of a different class, you're going to make more missteps. If you, as an intellectual, went into a dive bar in the middle of a rural place, you'd probably look like a fucking idiot too. You can't speak their language the way that they can't speak yours. But the research also confirms that intelligence and swearing are actually it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, and that people who are smarter can actually swear with the best of them and they can tap into more words, including more swear words, so you can just swear more colorfully. And I also did see the assumption that people who swear are more honest, which actually kind of digs back into that poverty of vocabulary by saying that people who are swearing are impulsive and that they're just kind of speaking off the cuff, which is why we perceive them as more honest.
They're stupid to lie, is what you're saying.
Not that they're too stupid to lie, but if I'm operating in a situation where I believe that I'm not supposed to swear and I keep fucking swearing, people are going to think, oh, she can't be lying because this person is just, talking so fast, or they don't have time they're not covering anything. So essentially, when you want to be deceitful, just start fucking swearing up a storm.
Hot tip.
Yeah. Be like, no, darling, that dress looks fucking great on you. I'd believe it. Here's the thing it comes down to. If somebody's in public and they're swearing, what does that do to hurt anybody else? Why get offended?
My ears are so delicate. They couldn't possibly handle the words coming out of your mouth.
Exactly. And it just makes me wonder, what is there to gain by being offended? Like, what do you get at the end of the day? If somebody is in a work call and they say, oh, this is fucking stupid, and you get all hot and bothered under their collar, what do you gain by calling that person out or by being offended by that?
Absolutely nothing. I don't get it either. I don't understand. It's interesting because when I think about swear words, I kind of like that they're a little taboo, because then that means that they're reserved, for like special occasions. If they were like every other word that I could use with impunity, they wouldn't have the same power. So I think it's kind of good that they're looked down upon, because then we can kind of keep them secret and keep them safe so that they still have their power. But I think about this about kids and about how kids aren't supposed to swear. And there are some differing opinions on this. Some people don't care at all. And I think about where I might fall. And I have a friend that said this about her kids. She said, when my child got to be the age where, she kind of knew what I was saying and was old enough to rationalize things, I told her, I'm like, listen, you can use these words. They're just words. But be aware that it's going to impact how people view you. And that some people, if you use those words, your friends' parents might not want them hanging out with you. So it was like giving them a choice of not just, just don't use this word ever. It was, you can use them, but think about how people are going to think about you.
Which I feel like is a good format for parenting in general, where there's no rules to stop you from doing a lot of stuff, but like, if you want people to like you, you should stay within the societal expectations and norms.
Yeah.
But I did see that a lot in the research, too, about childhood and how these words are given such power from such a young age. I mean, once we're told no, you can't say them, that's where the fascination begins. That's why somebody took their fucking latchkey and carved the fuck into the leather of the bus seat. It's because they were told that was bad, and then this word all of a sudden has all this meaning outside of just procreation.
That's also why kids also carve swastikas into bus seats, because that's the same thing. They're told no, that it's bad, so they do the same damn thing.
I agree with the crux of this issue is that, yes, me fucking saying fuck doesn't hurt you at all. Are you saying, well, bitch is a little different because it is distinct on the list of words that we use, where bitch is the only slur that's on there. But most swear words, if you're exclaiming them just to say, like, ow, or to express how angry you are about something, if you're not directing them at somebody else, they don't hurt you.
Yeah.
But at the flip side, if people stopped being offended by them,
they wouldn't have the power.
They lose their meaning, right? Yeah. So that comes to the last one. We've been swearing up a fucking storm. Fuck, shit, goddamn. We've been swearing a lot. By doing it, by repeating those words so often, are we taking away a little bit of their power?
I think so. We're both using them more than we normally do on the podcast, for the fun of it, obviously.
Yeah, you can't not swear on the swearing episode.
Exactly. So we're really digging in deep, and I think if we were to talk this way all the time, it would take away the power of it. It wouldn't make it as interesting. And it makes me think, have you ever dropped an F-bomb in a work meeting? Accidentally? Or on
no,
purpose?
I have to build up a lot of rapport with someone before I say the F word. See, now I'm in the work mindset. I can't even say it. Isn't that crazy how fast we code switch?
I said it on accident one time. I was in my early 20s, I think. And we were in a team meeting in a conference room. We were talking about something. And I was like, well, the fucking deal is, as soon as I said it, I was like, I'm really sorry. I did not mean to say that. That just kind of slipped out.
And there's research about swearing in the workplace too. And I'm not going to get into it because that could be its own separate conversation. We are just starting to peel back the wrapping to this corn on the cob that is swearing. And there's research that says that it actually builds trust and rapport within a workplace.
Oh, I completely believe that because, again, that idea of honesty and of candor.
Being human. Yeah.
Yeah. Being authentic?
Our authentic selves. Guess what? My authentic self swears like a goddamn sailor. And drinks like one, too, apparently.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to bring that to work. So I agree that I think that it is a good way to build rapport with people because you're being human. You're just giving them how it is. You're giving it straight from the brain. You're removing a filter. You're removing that screen that's between you and the rest of the world.
Yeah, you're kicking your Shakespeare in the rear and you're saying, this is my lizard self,
This is my lizard self. Is that
Shall I remove my skin and be a lizard? And because we all know deep down, like most of our politicians, we are all lizard people pretending to be ape people. The lizard race from outer space.
So are lizards more able or less able to swear than humans? Because it does come from our lizard
Yeah, they're
brains.
only capable of swearing.
Oh. So those lizard people politicians, they've really learned our tricks, haven't they?
I mean, we're kind of easy to understand. At the surface, as a mass. It could also be very complicated. I mean, humanity. Simple yet complicated. Close the podcast.
Like
we figured it out.
Yeah.
So what it comes down to it, swearing. Why is it so motherfucking satisfying? Well, it digs into that part of our brain that bypasses reason, that bypasses filters and screens. It lets us...
Even bypasses speech by some miracle.
Somehow it gets past all the junk that clouds our day-to-day life, that impacts our decisions, and it taps into our most pure selves, which are disgusting lizard people who can only express emotion in new ways of grunting, essentially. But it also bonds us when we use it in the right setting and can help us if we use it in the right setting. Don't let yourself become a victim of the poverty of vocabulary. And it's not only something that unites us as humans, but can unite us to our fellow living creatures, such as chimps and dolphins, apparently.
What about the bonobos? Did the bonobos curse?
No, they don't have time. Their mouths are just too full of dick. They can't say anything. Just kidding. I don't think they do oral. They probably do oral sex. Let's be honest.
I was gonna say, if you're
goddamn, they're a jolly good time. Like, if you haven't gone and visited them, Check them out.
I'm good. I'll pass on the bonobos. I don't need to see a monkey orgy to complete my zoo experience.
I mean, see, participate. Come on. Don't be such a little bitch about it. So I think that wraps up our conversation on dirty words.
The fucking swearing, guys. Well, let us know what your favorite swear words are. You can email us at rude@impolitesociety.com. Let us know your favorite swear words or give us a question for our Fan Fridays. What rude questions do you want us to tackle next? You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Impolite Society Podcast.
And of course, as always, please download, rate, and review. We are just two fucking nobodies out here in the world trying to make some content that gives somebody a goddamn grin. So help us out. Do those 3 things. And of course, tell your fucking deviant friends about us because you are our people.
Tell your loser friends about us. They don't have anything better to do.
Whoa. I didn't say loser. I said your fucking filthy animal friends. Your bonobo chimps. Dirty. Come on. Get dirty with us. I keep miming it too or signing it.
Punching herself in the chin.
Can I put that on my resume? Fluent in chimp sign language? I can swear in a couple languages, and I'm going to say chimp as one of them now.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time. And
Drums.
What are those?
Drums.
Oh, those drums. Oh my God, Laura, we better get out all the swear words out of our system before the show ends. Fuck, damn, shit, bitch, cunt. Get,
Pussy whore. Damn it. Fuck. Jiminy Crickets.
And that's where we end it.